Lovely people, come closer. Lean in, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just news. It's a eulogy for a piece of our dignity. I am sitting here today with a heavy heart, delivering a report that should make every person from the Cape to Cairo feel a chill in their bones. For months, we've watched the handshakes. We've seen the smiles in Paris. We've watched President William Ruto of Kenya going to France frequently. But while you were watching the diplomacy, they were building a pipeline, not for oil and not for water, but for boots. French boots on Kenyan soil. Last week, the mask finally fell. The Kenyan Parliament, driven by a majority that seems to have forgotten who they actually represent, passed a military pact into law. They didn't just sign a paper, they handed over the keys to the house. Welcome back to Power and Pulse. And here we don't just do sanitized versions of history. We do raw, unfiltered autopsy of how our continent is being repackaged and sold. Today we are diving deep into the clauses of this Kenyan-France military deal. Clauses that will shock you. Clauses that sound less like an agreement between equals and more like a surrender document. Let's look at the fine print, because that's where the devil lives. The first clause of this pact states that this military presence is stated for an initial 5 years. But here's the kicker. It is renewable. In the language of the masters, renewable doesn't mean we might stay. It means we aren't leaving. We've seen this movie before in the Sahel. It starts with a 5-year training mission, and before you know it, 30 years have passed, and your indigenous authority has been eroded to nothing. This is the first brick in the wall. France doesn't waste time. The moment the ink was dry, they already had the infrastructure ready to deploy. 1,000 French soldiers are already on the ground in Kenya. 1,000 men, fully armed, stationed in the heart of East Africa. And as we go through these clauses, you're going to realize that these aren't guests. They are masters of their own mini state within Kenya. Now, we get to the part that should make your blood boil. The third clause in this agreement states, and I want you to hear this clearly, the Kenyan government does not have the right to judge any French soldier. Let that sink in. We remember what British soldiers did to Kenyan women. We remember the stories of violence, of bodies treated like trash, of lives destroyed. If a French soldier decides to commit a crime against a Kenyan daughter, no Kenyan court is allowed to touch him. If they do what they have done across West Africa, our legal system is paralyzed. The fourth clause reinforces this. Total immunity. President William Ruto, oh my goodness, how do you explain this to the mother of Kenya? You have given a foreign military the right to be above the law. They have immunity. It literally means they can honor a Kenyan citizen with violence. They can kidnap. They can do anything they want, and they can walk away with a smile. They are untouchable. In their own land, oh my goodness, Kenyans have just been made second-class citizens to a foreign army. This isn't national mastery, this is a legal vacuum. But wait, there's more. It gets even crazier. There is a clause in this pact that says French troops have the right to import whatever they want, free of charge, no custom fees, no taxes. And here's the part that is truly terrifying. No custom officer has the right to verify what they have imported. Think about the security implications. They can bring in crates, containers, and heavy machinery, and the Kenyan government isn't allowed to even peek inside. Is it food? Is it medicine? Or is it something much more terrible that could be used to destabilize the region? We do not know. And according to this law, we aren't allowed to know. Literally, they can bring anything into the country and no one is checking. No one is imposing a fee. It's a sovereign hole in the middle of the nation. How can you claim to protect the autonomy of Kenya while allowing a foreign power to run a black box operation on your soil? We are in trouble. Africa is gradually being surrounded. While we are distracted by social media and petty politics, the map is being redrawn. From the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean, the bases are being built and the pacts are being signed. The kind of people we have at the helm of our countries today aren't just leaders. They are helpfully selling our continent anew. A brother once told me we shouldn't call them puppets anymore. That's too soft. They are aiders of a crime against our future. They are opening the gates from the inside. They are convincing the lawmakers to sign away the unfettered liberty of the next generation for a few years of security and some French investment. But at what cost? What is the price of a Kenyan woman's safety? What is the price of a nation's legal integrity? France is losing its grip on West Africa. The Sahel has woken up. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have kicked the experts out. They've reclaimed their autonomy. So Macron is looking for a new foothold. He is looking for a new partner who is willing to look the other way while France maintains its strategic reach. And he found that partner in Nairobi. This isn't about fighting terror. This is about resource lanes. This is about keeping a finger on the pulse of East African trade routes. And to get it, France has demanded and received a status for their soldiers that is effectively godlike. Because they are above the law at this point, above taxman and above the scrutiny of the people. And where were the lawmakers, the people elected to protect the strategic interests of the Kenyan people? They were busy finding ways to see with the president. They used their majority to bulldoze a deal that effectively removes Kenya's right to police its own borders when it comes to the French. How do you vote for a law that says a foreign soldier cannot be judged in your courts? Do you not trust your own judges, or do you trust your friends in Paris more than your own citizens? This is the tragedy of modern Africa governance, the willingness to sacrifice indigenous self-rule on the altar of international cooperation. We are living through the second scramble, but this time they aren't using ships and canoes. They are using pens and packs. They are using our own presidents to sign the deed. They are using our own parliaments to legitimize the occupation. William Ruto has effectively turned Kenya into a playground for a foreign military. He has created a situation where diplomatic immunity is no longer for diplomats. It's for soldiers with guns. This is a dangerous precedent. If Kenya does it today, who does it tomorrow? We must recognize that self-governing authority is not something you share with a former colonial power of all people. You either have it or you don't. And when you give a foreign army the right to bring an unverified cargo and commit crimes without consequences, you have officially handed over supremacy. Africa, look at what is happening. They are encircling us. They are building a new web of control. And they are using the language of development and partnership to hide the truth. But we see the truth. We see the clauses. We see the betrayal. And we cannot afford to be silent. If we don't speak up now, the next generation will wake up in a continent where they are visitors in their own homes, where the laws only apply to them, but never to the partners who are here to protect them. The pact is signed. The troops are here. The immunity is active. The story is not over. The people of Kenya and the people of Africa are watching. We are tracking every move. William Ruto might have given them the law, but he can never give them our silence. We are the digital shield for the truth. We are the voice for the women who won't get justice and for the customs officers who were told to look away. The struggle for indigenous command continues. The pulse of the continent is rising. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Marie, and this is Power and Pulse. And until next time, stay blessed.